So I'm Jordan Brooks. I'm the product manager for scheduling and risk and design at InEight. Design is a new one that we just added, so I always forget to add that to my title. But I've been product manager now for a little over a year, and prior to that, we'll go into my background. But prior to that, I was in construction at Kiewit. So I graduated from college in 2008. Started working construction straight out of college as a field engineer. So I was working in the field. I was doing RFIs, updating blueprints, getting quotes from vendors or subcontractors, reviewing those quotes, signing up subs and vendors to actual contracts. I also was kind of a gopher in that first job. So if they needed some supplies that weren't delivered or they couldn't get delivered till later, I would hop in a truck, drive down to the local hardware store and grab what was needed and bring it back to complete, a pour or whatever operation was going on at that time. It was the time of when the U.S. went into a major recession back in 2008. Housing, really everything, just took a major drop. So the company I was with, actually, I had been with them a year, and they did a major layoff at that time. So how they did it when they brought me in was last in, first out. But the good thing for me with that round of layoff is I had been in the commercial industry, the commercial market, commercial building, and it allowed me to actually go and get experience with other markets. So it didn't take long to find another job. Luckily, I got on with another smaller construction firm. They sent me to Chicago, and I was actually at a food processing plant at that time. So in these food processing plants, they have everything from water, wastewater, their self-housed water wastewater system. So I got experience with water wastewater in there. And then from there, I had been traveling since college. Graduated from University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Hometown is Omaha. So I had been traveling to Chicago, northern Iowa. I had been down to in Charles City, Iowa, even. So all over Iowa, really. Iowa City I got to, but I wanted to get back home to Omaha. So an opportunity with another construction firm, a larger construction firm, came up in their project controls department. And actually, specifically, it was scheduling. So it was foreign to me. I had never been in scheduling, hadn't used P6 at all. It was brand new to me. But I had seen P3 in college and Microsoft Project in college, so I knew kind of what it was about. But it did interest me. And I was trying to get home in reality. One of the main reasons why I took the position in the project controls world was to get home. And so I took the position. I was with this construction company for 10 years, and it opened my eyes to way more opportunities and career paths in the construction world that I never knew existed. I am grateful for taking that job. It got me really to where I'm at today as a product manager at a software company, which is completely separate from what you would think you're getting when you graduate from college with a construction engineering degree. No, I mean, when I first went to college, I think that I didn't know. I know I didn't know what a construction engineering degree encompassed. I think it was something that I kind of just fell into, to be completely honest. Best decision I ever made was probably going into that, for sure, because it got me to where I'm at today. And I didn't know, even probably going out of college, what that fully meant. I did get to do some internships in college when I think my first one was a sophomore in college. And then as a junior, I did another one. And I kind of got my head wrapped around of what encompasses and what opportunities are there for someone with a construction engineering degree, which really you don't hear back then. I would say you didn't hear a whole lot about project controls or technology or anything like that. When you went to your career fairs, it was, oh, do you want to come be a field engineer for our company? And it was really, which field engineer company do I want to go work for? And that was the opportunity. That was the extent of what was available to construction engineers at the time. And and I enjoyed the work. I learned to enjoy the construction industry really at my intern time. I would say that I learned to appreciate the hard work that goes in to that type of work, the construction field. I appreciated, the guys. You see the operations guys that, when I was working down in Texas as an intern, we were up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. to pour a parking lot because it got so hot during the day that if you didn't start at 4 a.m., you weren't going to complete the job that needed to get done for that day. You learn to appreciate the hard work that goes in, and then the end result of these buildings or power plants or structures that people drive by and use on a daily basis, and you can be proud of that and say, yeah, I was involved in building that. I think I learned to enjoy that. It was definitely something that wasn't just ingrained in me going into college, but I definitely learned it throughout my time in the industry. I would say even when what I'm doing now isn't entirely different from what I was doing at the construction company I was in my project controls position as a scheduler. In there, I was finding solutions for people on jobs at that time. Now I'm finding solutions for people in organizations, not just on jobs. But back, then and even now, my passion was giving people what I have learned access to that same resources in the specifically not project controls but specifically scheduling. For a long time, and I would say even today, um, there's a lack of documentation out on anywhere to train someone on how to run a scheduling software properly, or even industry standards that people accept within these softwares that may not be inherently known to a brand new scheduler. I know a lot of construction companies will throw brand new field engineers out of college into that scheduling position on a job, and they've never opened up software like that. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what buttons to click. And technology sometimes can be overwhelming, especially a scheduling tool that has a lot of different options baked into it, and it has to be able to provide a solution to multiple markets, multiple jobs, multiple contracts. You inherently need the amount of options that scheduling softwares provide a lot of the times. And I wake up every day trying to not only produce a application and then ultimately a platform solution that first time field engineer can understand and use, but also even the 20 to 30 years that may not like technology. I want to provide something that they can actually get useful information from, maybe not want to hop into it. I don't know. There's some people who I've met in the construction industry who want nothing to do with technology, and that's the way it is. And that's fine. They want to go build work. Absolutely. We need those people in the industry, but at least give them information from our technology that they can use to make their job easier. Construction the construction industry probably was way more segmented to certain people with certain skills earlier on in my career. Um, but I think that has significantly grown with the advances in technology that we've seen over time. I've seen construction companies come up from having a need for one guy. They call their IT department, and it's one guy who basically just loads Microsoft onto a computer and sends it out to the job site and says, "Here you go." To the need to have cloud-based solutions that can not only house or not only run their solutions technologically, but house their data. And so you think about when you're housing data, what do you need? Well, you need a data architecture or data architect in there. That's something that probably early on people didn't even think was possible in the construction industry, is to hire a data architect as a full-time employee on a design, engineer, or construction firm. Not That was not very prevalent back in the day. With the technological advances and the needs and the desires of people in the construction industry, those jobs like that, for example, are becoming more and more common throughout the industry. And just like I think this is very similar to a lot of items. Is it starts out with the bigger contractors, but you're starting to see it in the smaller and smaller ones now. They see the need to have some type of solution that is it uses technology, and they need some type of data architecture or a database administrator to be able to maintain those and update those and make sure that they're working properly and are working correctly for what the needs of that organization are. Jobs like that would have never been thought of. BIM, another one, which has brought about the need for drone pilots that previously was never used on construction jobs ever. It was actually, obviously that was started in the military and became technology that we use throughout the industry now, for all different types of things. That those doors are open thanks to the technological advances that have happened. The thing I would tell people who maybe have, let's say, a computer science degree and have never thought about the construction industry, I think that one thing that you may not be very passionate about construction, let's say, but you're passionate about computer science. I think that the amount of experience that you can get from coming into an industry that is so infantile still to this day, and things like computer science, database architecture, database administrator, things like that, they will get the opportunities, like similar to what I did early on in my project controls career, to see a bunch of different things that it probably going into an established software industry. Let's say as a computer science, you're going to be someone that's punching a ticket and just doing work, kind of like an assembly line. Whereas into the construction industry, you're going to get experiences that you probably never or would have taken years to ever get experience in. I think that that's one thing that as an industry we offer to these not typical career paths that are now starting to become more prevalent, is come in and help us out and get all this experience that you wouldn't have gotten except for maybe 15 years down the road. Come in and get it in 2 years now, and improve, see significant improvements to an industry that is really hungry to have more and more of those advancements